Hello everyone. Under fourth module, the next topic is about laminar and turbulent flow. So we know what is laminar and turbulent flow, all right? So in case of laminar flow, so basically fluid particles moves in a straight path, so without disturbing to adjacent fluid layer, all right? But in case of turbulent flow, the fluid particles moves in a zigzag way, right? So there will be disturbance between the fluid layers, right, when the fluid passes through a channel or any cross section. So in this module, I mean under fourth module, in this topic, the derivation will be asked. Okay, so that derivation is popularly known as Hagen-Poiseuille equation. So in the exam point of view, so this is very important topic. So laminar flow through a circular pipe. Okay, that is also called as Hagen-Poiseuille equation. So in this, when there is a laminar flow through a circular pipe, so how does velocity distribution takes place? So what is the ratio of maximum velocity to average velocity? How does the shear stress distribution takes place? And how does the pressure drop takes place for a given length? So that are all has to be, or that are all will be calculated, and equations are derived in this derivation. Okay, so while deriving, so here you can see in the diagram, so there is a circular pipe. For analysis purpose, a circular pipe is considered. Okay, so there is a circular pipe through which, so viscous fluid is flowing, and for analysis purpose, a circular fluid element will be considered. So this is the circular fluid element. Okay, for analysis purpose, the circular fluid element is considered, small fluid element, right, in the viscous flow, right? So while analyzing, so you can see, so what are the forces which are acting on the fluid element is considered initially, right? So you can see at the phase AB, so whatever the phase they have mentioned here, at phase AB or at the inlet of the fluid element, the pressure force is acting. Okay, so the pressure force is acting at the inlet of the fluid element. So again, force is pressure by area, or pressure is equal to, pressure is force by area, right? So our pressure force is equal to pressure into area. So pressure is denoted by P, and area is denoted by pi r square. So P into pi r square is the pressure force which is acting at the inlet of the fluid element, right? So and at the exit of the fluid element, or at the other end of the fluid element, at the other end of the fluid element, so what is the pressure force which is analyzed by making use of Taylor series of expansion? All right, so basically already we have discussed in the previous module also, if you are analyzing any fluid element, so we will make use of partial differential equation, that is Taylor series of expansion. So initially there is a pressure P, so initial pressure, is considered as P, and so there will be change in pressure along x direction. There will be change in pressure along x direction at a distance delta x. So the distance between two phases are inlet of the fluid element and exit of the fluid element, or the other end of the fluid element. The distance is denoted by delta x. All right. So that one is considered here. Delta x is the distance between the two ends of the fluid element, right? So there is an initial pressure, and the pressure changes along x direction at a distance delta x. All right, so that is what the equation denotes: P plus dP by dx into delta x. So that is the pressure term into area. So area is pi r square, right? With respect to radius, if you want to write the cross sectional area, So you can write it as P into pi r square. Alright. So P has to be, P equation has to be written with respect to the partial differential equation, that is Taylor series of expansion. Alright. So, and here they have considered the radius of the fluid element is denoted by small r. So small r is the radius of the fluid element, all right, and the radius of the pipe. The radius of the pipe is denoted by capital R. All right. So and also the near the surface of the fluid element, the shear force is acting. So opposite to the flow of fluid. So on the surface of the fluid element, the shear force is acting. Again, so tau is equal to force by area. Shear stress is equal to force by area, or shear force is equal to tau into area. So this is tau into area. Area, you need to consider the surface area. Area you need to consider is surface area. All right. So that's why it is, 2 pi r into d delta x. So delta x is the length. 2 pi r is the surface area. So which is been considered. Right. So tau into 2 pi r into delta x. Right. So tau into 2 pi r into delta x is the shear force that is acting on the surface of the fluid element, right, in the opposite direction. So that is what we have considered. All right. So before analyzing, before deriving the equation for velocity distribution, shear stress distribution, pressure distribution, the ratio of maximum velocity to average velocity. So you need to go through this concept, right? So after that, so first let us derive the equation for shear stress. Okay, by making use of this diagram, so you can derive the expression for shear stress distribution. Okay, so while deriving the expression for shear stress, so you can see the Newton's second law of motion is used, that is summation of forces. So that is summation of forces is equal to mass into acceleration. F is equal to ma. So again, since the steady flow is considered here, so acceleration becomes zero, right? Change in velocity with respect to time becomes zero. So that is steady flow. So that's why acceleration becomes zero. So summation of forces is equal to zero. All right. So summation of forces, if you consider, so what are the forces which are acting here? The forces which are acting here, yeah. So the forces which are acting here is, one is the pressure force. So one is the pressure force which is acting at one end of the fluid element. So that is P into pi r square. All right. So P into pi r square is the pressure force which is acting, all right, at the one end of the fluid element. All right. And so P plus dP by dx into delta x into pi r square is the pressure force which is acting at the other end of the fluid element. And one more is the shear force which is acting at the surface of the fluid element, right? So that is tau into 2 pi r into delta x. So there are two pressure forces and one is the shear force which is acting on the fluid element. So that is what it is considered here. So P into pi r square, so is the pressure force which is acting at one end of the fluid element, and at the other end, so again P plus dP by dx into delta x into pi r square, so that is acting in the opposite direction. That's why it is considered in the negative sign. Okay. And even the shear stress, the shear force is acting in the opposite direction. That's why. So this is also negative. So tau into 2 pi r into delta x, right? 2 pi r into delta x is the surface area, all right? So summation of forces is equal to 0. And in this, I mean P into pi r square. So this minus P into pi r square. If you multiply, so positive negative get cancelled. Okay, remaining will be so minus dp by dx into delta x into pi r square, right? Minus so tau into 2 pi r into delta x. So after this, delta x into pi into r, delta x into pi into r is common in both the terms, right? So it can be cancelled, right? So it can be taken common, and if you move it right side, so it gets cancelled, it becomes 0, right? And the remaining term becomes minus dp by dx into r minus 2 tau is equal to 0. Or if we keep tau one side, so tau becomes minus dp by dx into r by 2. All right? Yeah, you need to keep tau one side. The remaining terms, if you move other side, so you'll get the expression for tau. All right? So this is the shear stress distribution equation. Right? So the how does the shear stress and the velocity distribution takes place when the fluid passes through any circular channel. So is been discussed with this diagram. You can understand here. So you can understand the shear stress is 0 at the center, and the shear stress increases from center to shear stress increases from center to towards the surface. So because near the surface, the frictional resistance to the flow of fluid is maximum, right? From the surface, the frictional resistance offered to the flow of fluid will be maximum, right? That's why the shear stress is maximum near the surface and 0 at the center, right? The shear stress reduces towards the center, all right? So and exactly at the center, shear stress becomes 0. Right? But velocity is opposite to that. You can see here, since resistance to the flow of fluid is very, very less near the center, the fluid flows with maximum velocity. Right? And toward the surface, velocity decreases because shear stress is more. In the sense, resistance to the flow of fluid is more towards the surface. All right, so that's why velocity decreases towards the surface. Velocity decreases towards the surface, or velocity increases towards the center, and with maximum velocity fluid flows at the center, right? So this is the shear stress profile, and this is the velocity profile. Yeah, so now we can discuss about velocity distribution equation. Okay, already we have derived the equation for shear stress. Now we can discuss the velocity distribution equation. All right. So to obtain the velocity distribution equation, so we can make use of the Newton's law of viscosity formula. Right. According to Newton's law of viscosity, we can write tau is equal to mu into du by dy. All right. In the first module, we have studied about Newton's law of viscosity. All right. So tau is equal to mu into du by dy. So, but in tau is equal to mu into du by dy. So y is the distance which is measured from the pipe wall. All right. So the y varies. You can see here in the diagram. So y is the distance between the fluid element and the surface. Okay. So if the y varies, the radius of the fluid element also varies. Okay. So the radius of the fluid element varies with respect to y. Why in the sense, basically it is the distance between the fluid element and the surface, inner surface of the pipe. So that is what I have considered here, because y varies. All right. So y is equal to capital R minus small r. So they have taken y is equal to capital R minus small r. So in this diagram you can make out, you can see. So this is capital R, this is capital R, and this is small r. Right? The radius of the fluid element is small r, and so radius of the pipe is capital R. So capital R minus small r gives the distance between the fluid element and the inner surface of the pipe. All right. So that is what they have written here. So y is equal to, so y is equal to capital R minus small r. All right. So when you differentiate this, so dy, I mean differentiation of y is dy. So that becomes minus dr, because capital R becomes 0. That is constant. Capital R is constant. Capital R is the radius of the pipe. Right? So capital R is the radius of the pipe. That remains constant. Only radius of the fluid element can be changed. It can be varied till capital R. Alright, you can differentiate only small r. Capital R remains constant. Right? The radius of the pipe remains constant. So that's why that becomes 0. So when I differentiate constant term, that becomes 0. Alright, capital R term becomes 0 and small r becomes dr. So there's negative sign. So it becomes minus dr. So now in the shear stress distribution equation, I mean Newton's law of viscosity equation, so you can, in place of dy, so you can substitute minus dr. So that is what has been done in the next step. You can see tau is equal to mu into du by minus dr. In place of dy, they have substituted minus dr. So that is equal to minus mu into du by dr. All right. So now this minus mu into du by dr is tau. But already we have got one expression for tau. Already we have derived an expression for tau. Right. So tau is equal to minus dp by dx into r by 2. So both are tau equations. We can equate. Since both are tau, we can equate. So we can write in the next step, we can write minus mu into du by dr, minus mu into du by dr. So that is tau is equal to minus dp by dx into r by 2. That is also tau. You can see. So tau is equal to minus mu into du by dr, and also tau is equal to minus dp by dx into r by 2. So you can equate both. All right. So when both are equated and further simplified, you can see here. So du by dr is kept one side. So negative sign get cancelled. All right. So and the remaining will be dp 1 by 2 mu. Right. Mu they are moving right side. So 1 by 2 mu. 2 is here. Right. 1 by 2 mu into dp by dx into r remains. All right. So and later this dr can be moved right side, and that becomes du. Right. Du equation. So but du has to be converted to u, because you need to have the total velocity. This du is the differential velocity through the fluid element. All right. But you need to have the total velocity. All right. So for that you need to integrate du. On the integration of du, it becomes u. Right. So that is what in the next step they have done. So du has become u. U is equal to 1 by, I mean here you can see 1 by 2 mu is there, and dp by dx is there. So when you integrate r dr, it becomes r square by 2. So r square by 2 into 2 has become 4 mu. Right. So r square by 4 mu. So integration of du has become u is equal to 1 by 4 mu into dp by dx into r square. You're getting right. So integration of r into dr is r square by 2. So that 2 is been multiplied with this 2. So it has become 4 mu in the next step. So 1 by 4 mu into dp by dx into r square plus some constant. So after integration, you'll get some constant. So where c is the constant of integration. But in u term, constant should not be there. So that's why for constant, Again, to have the value, so you need to apply the boundary condition. So boundary condition has been applied. Okay. So according to the boundary condition, what is the boundary condition? When small r is equal to capital R, so what is u? What is u? That becomes 0. Am I right? So this is capital R. This is capital R, right? So when small r becomes capital R, in the sense radius of the fluid element, the smaller radius of the fluid element becomes capital R near the surface. So what about velocity? Velocity becomes 0, right? You can see here velocity on the surface is 0, right? So velocity on the surface is 0. When small r becomes capital R, the radius of the fluid element, right, that becomes capital R, the velocity becomes 0. All right. So that one can be substituted in the equation 10.2 now. So velocity u is equal to 0. When 0 is equal to 1 by 4 mu into dp by dx into small r becomes capital R. Here small r square is there. So it has become capital R square. All right. So plus constant is there. All right. So now constant c is equal to the other terms. If you move other side, it becomes negative term. C is equal to minus 1 by 4 mu into dp by dx into r square. So substituting, I mean, if you substitute this c in u equation 10.2, so as I said, c should not be there in velocity equation. So that's why we got the expression for c. Now we can substitute in this equation, u equation. So u equation becomes, so 1 by 4 mu into dp by dx into r square. In place of plus c, you are substituting the expression of c. So that is minus 1 by 4 mu into dp by dx into capital R square. All right. So, and further simplification, minus 1 by 4 mu into dp by dx is taken out. Minus 1 by 4 mu into dp by dx is taken out. And the remaining is capital R square minus small r square. Since capital R has got the higher value compared to small r, all right, so they have taken minus 1 by 4 mu dp by dx outside. So this is the velocity of the fluid at any point, right? Velocity of the fluid at any point. So to find that, so we have the expression for velocity distribution. All right. So in the next step, the ratio of maximum velocity to average velocity equation has to be derived. Okay. So first we can derive the expression for maximum velocity. So when it becomes maximum velocity, when u becomes u max, so we have expression for u velocity at any point. All right. So when it becomes maximum velocity at the center, we know the fluid flows with maximum velocity at the center of the pipe. All right. So what is the meaning of center of pipe? R has to become 0. All right. So in this expression, small r should become 0 if the radius of the fluid element becomes 0. That becomes center. In the diagram you can see. So in the diagram you can see. So when this small r becomes 0, so that becomes center of the pipe. At the center of the pipe, fluid flows with maximum velocity. All right. So that's why u becomes u max. So in this expression, small r should become 0. Then u becomes u max. So that is what I have done here. So u max is equal to minus 1 by 4 mu into dp by dx into capital R square minus 0. I mean, small r square is 0. Right. So we got the expression for maximum velocity. So now to find the expression for average velocity, they are considering small circular fluid element. Okay, small thickness of fluid element they are considering. You can see here. Yeah. So here you can see small circular fluid element they have considered. It has got the thickness of dr, right? So in this they are considering small thickness of the fluid element. through which what is the discharge. So discharge through this small circular ring is denoted by dq. So that is the discharge. They are calculating the discharge through small circular ring first. Okay, so afterwards, I mean, by integrating it, you'll get the total discharge value q. All right, yeah, you can see. So dq is the discharge through small circular ring. Okay, so again, discharge is velocity into area. All right, so dq is velocity at radius small r into area of the ring element. So basically, discharge is area into velocity. So that is what they have written. So velocity is denoted by u. Velocity at any point is denoted by small u into area. So area is the small circular, I know, ring is being considered. So it's almost like the surface area. All right. So surface area is 2 pi r into the thickness they have considered, dr. 2 pi r into dr. Right. This is the surface area of the fluid element. In the sense, the small ring, almost it looks like the surface area. All right. So that's why the area is considered as surface area, 2 pi r into the thickness they have considered, 2 pi r into dr. Right. So in the next step, we have the expression for u. We have the expression for u. So that is minus 1 by 4 mu into dp by dx into capital R square minus small r square. Already we have derived the expression for u. So that is, they have substituted into 2 pi r into dr. So this is the discharge through small circular ring. To have the total discharge, I mean throughout that pipe, what is the discharge? To calculate, you need to integrate dq. All right. So if you integrate dq, it becomes capital Q. All right. So an integration from with the limit 0 to capital R, in the sense from 0 in the sense center, from center to capital R. Capital R in the sense the inner surface of the pipe. So that gives you total discharge, right? From center to inner radius, right? Inner radius of the circular pipe, that gives you total discharge Q. That's why within the limit 0 to R, you need to integrate dq, right? So the dq expression they have written here. Okay, so 0 to r, dq is there, dq expression whatever is been here in the previous step. So the same thing they have written here. All right, so in the next step, so 1 by 4 mu is there, so there's negative sign that I multiplied with this dp by dx, so it has become minus dp by dx into 2 pi. So they have taken outside, and the radius term they have kept inside the integration. All right, so radius only can be integrated. All right, the radius only changes, that varies. All right, so the remaining is capital R square minus small r square into r dr. So now 1 by 4 mu in the next step, 1 by 4 mu into minus dp by dx into 2 pi into, so what they have done in the next step, this r they have moved inside. Okay, they have multiplied this small r. All right, so it becomes capital R square into r, and small r into r square is r cube into dr. So afterwards, in the next step, again 1 by 4 mu into minus dp by dx into 2 pi into, so they have integrated. So capital R square into integration of small r dr. Small r dr is r square by 2. All right. So and integration of r cube dr is r to the power of 4 divided by 4. All right. So r to the power of 3 plus 1 divided by 3 plus 1. All right. So r to the power of 4 divided by 4 within the limit 0 to r. So in the next step, you can apply the limits. So that is 1 by 4 mu into minus dp by dx into 2 pi into r square is there. And if you apply the limit, so again r square into r square, that becomes r to the power of 4 by 2 minus small r to the power of 4 is there. If you apply the limit, it becomes capital R to the power of 4 by 4. And if you take common, so next step becomes 1 by 4 mu into minus dp by dx into 2 pi. All right. So the common factor is 4. So it becomes r to the power of 4 by 4. Right? So again, this 2 and 2, get 2 ones are 2 twos are. Alright, so here it becomes 2. Right? 2 will be multiplied with 4. 4 twos are 8. So in the next step, so it becomes pi by, pi is there here. So that is pi by 8 mu into minus dp by dx into r to the power of 4 remains. So this is the expression for Q. This is the expression for the total discharge. So now to have the average discharge, because discharge is equal to area into velocity. So velocity is average velocity. So velocity you need to consider this average velocity. Q is equal to area into velocity. All right. So velocity is equal to Q by A. So we have the expression for Q. We have the area. So total area, the circular area is pi r square. All right. So in this again r square and r square get cancelled, and the remaining equation becomes, even pi and pi get cancelled here. Pi, so pi get cancelled. The remaining will be 1 by 8 mu. All right. So into minus dp by dx into r square. So that is the expression for U average. This is the expression for U average. So now, since you are finding the ratio of maximum velocity to average velocity, the ratio of U max by U bar can be written as, so already we have derived the expression for U max, that is 1 by 4 mu into dp by dx into r square. All right. So divided by U bar. U bar is 1 by 8 mu into minus dp by dx into r square. Already we have derived here. All right. So here 1 by mu get cancelled, dp by dx get cancelled, r square get cancelled. So 4 ones are 4 twos are, right? 2 goes upside. So that means the ratio of maximum velocity to average velocity is equal to 2. All right. So in the exam they may ask, so prove that the ratio of maximum velocity to average velocity is equal to 2 when the fluid passes through a circular pipe. When there is a laminar flow through circular pipe, that time till here you need to derive it. Okay. So this is the ratio of maximum velocity to average velocity expression. So next, so we can derive the expression for pressure drop. So you can see here drop of pressure for a given length of pipe. So in the sense, in the pipe they are considering two sections. All right. So in the circular pipe they are considering two sections at a distance L. Distance between two sections are L. The pressure at section 1 is taken as P1. Pressure at section 2 is taken as P2. And section 1 is at a distance of X1 from one end of the pipe. Section 2 is at a distance of X2 from the one end of the pipe. All right. So X2 minus X1 gives you the distance between two sections. That is L. X2 minus X1 is equal to L. All right. Yeah. So, to derive the expression for pressure drop, so they're making use of average velocity equation. So here we have average velocity equation. So 1 by 8 mu into minus dp by dx into r square. Same expression they're using here. 1 by 8 mu into minus dp by dx into, I think r square is missing here. Here. Yeah, you need to add r square here. R square. All right. So in the next step, what they have done, minus dp they have kept one side. Minus dp is equal to, I think 8 mu u bar, 8 mu u bar into dx. Again, here dx is missing in this expression. So 8 mu u bar into dx. All right, divided by r square. If r square is more this side, this becomes divided by r square. So in the next step, you can write minus dp is equal to 8 mu u bar by r square into dx. All right. So that is what they have written here. I think few data are missing, r square and dx. You can assume here. Yeah. So afterwards, so when there is dp, so on the integration of dp, within the limits 2 to 1 between section 2 and section 1. So if you integrate the pressure, so you'll get the total pressure, means P1 and P2 within the limits 2 to 1. If you integrate dP, right, it becomes P1 minus P2 in the next step, right? So integration within the limit 2 to 1 of dP is equal to 2 to 1 of 8 mu u bar r square by dx. So this the the previous step they have written. So within the limits. So now if you integrate it, dP becomes P, right? And afterwards, if you apply the limit, it becomes P1 minus P2, right? If you apply the limit, integration of dP is P, and when you apply the limit, it becomes P1 minus P2, right? And there is negative sign here. So it's equal to 8 mu u bar by r square, and the integration of dx becomes x. And if you apply the limit, it becomes x1 minus x2. All right. So actually here you can see in the diagram, x2 minus x1 is L, but x1 minus x2 is negative L. All right. So x1 minus x2 is negative L. So in place of this, you can write negative L. This is actually negative L. So this negative and left side negative get cancelled in the next step. Okay, negative and negative get cancelled. So you can write P1 minus P2 is equal to 8 mu u bar by r square into capital L. Right, negative sign and negative L, because x1 minus x2 is negative L. Negative negative get cancelled both the side. So you can write P1 minus P2 is equal to 8 mu u bar by r square into L. All right, or 8 mu u bar L divided by, so r is equal to d by 2. Radius is equal to diameter by 2 whole square. All right, diameter by 2 square is 4. 4 8 is a 32. So in the next step, P1 minus P2 is equal to 32 mu u bar L by d square. We have written. All right. So loss of pressure head. I mean, in terms of head, if you want to write, then you need to divide both the side by rho g. Right. So P1 minus P2 by rho g is equal to 32 mu u bar L by rho g d square. And this equation is called as Hagen-Poiseuille equation. So this equation is called as Hagen-Poiseuille equation. All right. So till here you need to derive the expression for Hagen-Poiseuille equation. Okay. So this is very important in the exam point of view. Okay. Till here you need to derive. So by making use of this velocity distribution equation, shear stress distribution equation, the ratio of maximum velocity to average velocity, and the pressure head, so the pressure distribution, we can solve some numericals. Okay, we can discuss some numericals. Yeah. So in the first numerical, determine. So they have asked determine the pressure gradient. So what is pressure gradient? So change in pressure with respect to length, dP by dx. So you need to calculate what is the value of dP by dx. The shear stress at the two horizontal parallel plates. So shear stress is denoted by tau. All right. So tau between two parallel plates. So parallel plates. So here the distance between two parallel plates is being considered as T. Here they have considered as A. So you can take it as A. Okay. So the distance, there are two parallel plates. There are two parallel plates, right? Between two parallel plates, the fluid is flowing, and the distance between these two parallel plates are considered as A. All right. So what is the shear stress? I mean, what is the value of tau at y is equal to 0 and y is equal to A? Tau at y is equal to A. You need to calculate, right? The shear stress between two, shear stress at two horizontal parallel plates. So tau at y is equal to A and tau at y is equal to 0, you need to calculate. And discharge per meter width for laminar flow of oil. So discharge is denoted by Q. You need to calculate the value of Q. All right. So with maximum velocity of 2 meter per second. So U maximum they have given. So U maximum is equal to 2 meter per second between two horizontal parallel fixed plate which are 100 mm apart. So A is equal to 100 mm. The distance between two parallel plates they have given. So that is A is equal to 100 mm. And also they have given the value of mu, the value of dynamic viscosity is equal to 2.4525 Newton second per meter square. By making use of all this, you need to calculate the value of dp by dx, tau at y is equal to 0, tau at y is equal to a, and also q. All right. So first to calculate dp by dx, we have the expression. All right. So from the derivation of parallel plates, at the end of the derivation, all right, we have got this expression. Right. dp by dx is equal to minus 12 mu u average divided by a square. In this minus 12 into mu value they have given, so 2.4525 can substitute, and u average, to calculate u average they have given the maximum velocity. So in the derivation, while deriving parallel plate derivation, we know like u average by u maximum is equal to 2 by 3, or the ratio of maximum velocity to average velocity is equal to 3 by 2, or 1.5. The ratio of maximum velocity to average velocity is equal to 1.5. We have got it. All right. So that expression we are using. So u average is equal to 2 by third of u max, and you have the value of u max, that is 2. You'll get the value of u average. You can substitute u, and a is the distance between two plates. So that is 100 mm that given. Millimeter has to be converted to meter into 10 raised to minus 3. So if you substitute, you'll get the value of dp by dx. So dp by dx is equal to minus 3914.19 Newton meter square per meter. All right. So that is the value of dp by dx. In the next step, you have to calculate tau at y is equal to 0 and tau at y is equal to a. So shear stress. So already we have got the expression for shear stress between parallel plates. Okay, this not these numerical. This numerical is not related to circular pipe. This numerical is related to parallel plate. Do remember? Okay. So for shear stress distribution in the parallel plate derivation, so we have got this expression minus 1 by 2 into dp by dx into a minus 2y, right? A minus 2y. So when y is equal to 0, so 2y becomes 0 in this expression, and the remaining equation becomes minus 1 by 2 into dp by dx into a. 2y becomes 0. Right. So our you can write it as minus 1 by 2 into, so already I have got the expression for dp by dx. I mean you have the value, you can substitute into a is the distance between two parallel plates, that is 100 mm. If you substitute, you'll get the value of tau at y is equal to 0. All right. So now, so tau at y is equal to a. Tau at y is equal to a. If you do, so we have the expression again for tau shear stress minus 1 by 2 into dp by dx into a minus 2y. This is 2y. So but here y is equal to a. All right. So that's why they have written it as a. So it becomes minus 1 by 2 into dp by dx into a minus 2a is minus a. Right? Or minus 1 by 2 into, you have dp by dx value, and also minus a. A is the distance between two plates. You have 100 mm. All right, you can substitute here. You'll get the value of tau at y is equal to a, that is minus 195.71 Newton per meter square. So that is the second thing. So they have asked you to calculate. All right. And the third thing, they have asked you to calculate the value of discharge. All right. So discharge is equal to area into velocity. Q is equal to A into velocity, right? So A is the area. So area is height into width, gives you the area of the plate, right? Height is 100 mm. So height is denoted by A, 100 mm into width is taken as unit width, right? During the derivation, all right, we know the width of the plates are taken as unit width, all right? So that's why W is equal to 1. So 1 into 100 into U average. So average velocity already you have calculated, all right? So that is 1.33 meter per second. So that average velocity you can substitute here, right? So you'll get the value of Q. Q is equal to 0.133 meter cube per second. All right. So these are all the things which has to be calculated. So they've asked you to calculate for parallel plate. Okay. So yeah. So we can discuss one more problem. So water at 15 degrees centigrade flows between two parallel plates. There are two parallel plates at a distance of 1.6 millimeter apart. Determine the maximum velocity. U max has to be calculated. The pressure drop per unit length means dp by dx. You need to calculate. And also the shear stress at the walls of the plate. So in the sense, tau at y is equal to 0, tau at y is equal to a. So and the average velocity, U average, they are given 0.2 meter per second. The viscosity of water at 15 degrees centigrade is given as 0.01 poise. So poise is the unit of dynamic viscosity. So that is mu. Mu is equal to 0.01 poise. All right. So later poise has to be converted to Newton second per meter square. So 1 poise is 1 by 10 Newton second per meter square. So 0.01 divided by 10 Newton second per meter square. That is the value of mu. So first you need to calculate is maximum velocity. So we have the expression maximum velocity is 3 by 2 of average velocity, right? So we have the equation. So and you average velocity value they have given, you can substitute. So 3 by 2 of average velocity 0.2, you will get the maximum velocity. So next they are given pressure drop per unit length. Length is 1 meter per unit length they are given. So dp by dx or dp by L they have considered. So dp by dx formula we have, right, for parallel plates, that is minus 12 mu u bar or u average divided by a square, right? So and dp by L they have taken as 1 because per unit length they are considered. So minus 12 into mu value they have given. The dynamic viscosity 0.01 divided by 10. It becomes 0.001, right? And also average velocity. So average velocity is 0.2 meter per second they are given. And A distance between the plates is 1.6 into, 1.6 mm into 10 raised to minus 3 they have given. If you substitute, you'll get the value of the change in pressure. Okay. So or the pressure drop per unit length. All right. So in the next step, third thing, they have asked you to calculate the shear stress at the walls, of the plates, if the average velocity is 0.2 meter per second. So in the sense, what is the value of tau at the walls? Wall in the sense at y is equal to 0 and y is equal to 1.6. So again for shear stress we have the formula minus 1 by 2 into dp by dx into a minus 2y. All right. So 2y becomes 0 here. That's why it becomes only a minus 0. All right. So minus 1 by 2 into we have dp by dx value already have calculated. So dp by dx is 1. So that is minus 937.5 into a. The distance is 1.6 millimeter. So that's why they are multiplied with 10 raised to minus 3 to convert millimeters to meter. So we'll get tau at y is equal to 0, that is 0.75 Newton per meter square. Similarly, so you need to calculate the shear stress at y is equal to 1.6. The formula is minus 1 by 2 into dp by dx into a minus 2y. All right. So, but y is equal to 1.6 here. So in place of a, so you can substitute 1.6. Okay. So it becomes minus 1 by 2 into dp by dx. We have minus 937.5. Here a minus 2 into a, because 1.6 is the distance between two plates. So distance between two plates is denoted by a. So that's why they have written A, I mean 2A, right? 2A, A minus 2A is minus A. So later they have substituted that value. So the distance between two plates is minus 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 3, right? So tau at y is equal to 1.6 mm. So they have got here is minus 0.7 Newton per meter square. So I think that is what they have asked you to calculate. So they have asked you to calculate the maximum velocity, the pressure drop per unit length, and the shear stress at y is equal to 0 and y is equal to A for the given data. So I hope you have understood all these concepts. Thank you.